state that organisms can be classified into groups by the features that they share. There are thousands, millions of organisms on our Earth planet, range from microorganisms to higher plants and higher animals. There are millions of organisms on Earth. They are different in structure, size, and shapes. It's really difficult to study millions of organisms individually, one by one. So, these millions of organisms are arranged in groups. This is the group of microorganisms, all the microorganisms having same characteristics, so they are arranged in a group. All the microorganisms are arranged in a group. These are the plants, they are arranged in a same group. All the plants are arranged in a same group. These are fungi, all the fungi are arranged in the same group. These are snakes, reptiles, all the snakes and snake-like animals like reptiles are arranged in a same group. These are insects, all the insects are arranged in a same group. These are higher animals. All the higher animals are arranged in a separate same group. All the organisms can be classified into groups by features that they share. Describe a species as a group of organisms that can reproduce to produce fertile offspring. What is a species? Species is a group of organisms that can reproduce to produce fertile offspring. What are fertile offspring? We can define fertile offspring are the offspring with ability to reproduce and give birth to young ones. Example of species. The zoological name of the lion is Panthera leo. Panthera is genus name and Leo is species name. This is the example of a species. These are lions, tigers, and cheetahs. Lions can reproduce with lions only. Tigers can reproduce with tigers only. Cheetahs can reproduce with cheetahs only. Lions cannot reproduce with tigers. Tigers cannot reproduce with cheetahs. Describe the binomial system of naming species as an internationally agreed system in which scientific name of an organism is made up of two parts showing the genus and species. What is binomial system? It's also called binomial nomenclature. What's binomial nomenclature? Bi means two. Nomial means names. Nomenclature means naming system. It's system of giving two names to an organism. Biological name of man is Homo sapiens. Homo is the genus name of man. Sapiens, the species name of man. Levels of classifications. Species, the lower level of classification. Organisms with similar characters are grouped in a species level. Similar species are grouped in genus. Similar genera are grouped in family, and so on. Classification of man. The phylum of man is Chordata, class Mammalia, order Primates, family Hominidae, genus Homo, species Homo sapiens. Construct and use dichotomous keys based on identifiable features. A dichotomous key is a tool used in biology to identify and classify living organisms such as plants, animals, and microorganisms. It is a series of questions or statements that lead to the identification of a particular species. Characteristics of dichotomous key. Dichotomous, the key represents two choices or options at each step. Sequential, the user answers each question in sequence with each answer leading to the next question. Elimination, each answer eliminates one of the two options, narrowing down the possibilities. Dichotomous keys are useful for identifying unknown organisms, teaching taxonomy. Taxonomy is the study of naming and classifications of the organisms, and it also promotes critical thinking. Dichotomous key also promotes problem solving skills in biology students. Understand to draw dichotomous key. Consider a simple example. There are different shapes, four different shapes. At level first, we separate oval shape and all the shapes on other side. And now one shape is oval shape and the rest of shapes are non-oval shapes. And from non-oval shapes, we isolate triangle shape and rest of shapes are non-triangle, and from these two non-triangles we separate a square and the rest is non-square, that is a circle. Draw a dichotomous key for following animals. These are the animals. We have to draw a dichotomous key for them. These are vertebrates. At level 1, we ask the question about fur. The animals have fur. This fox mammal, it has a fur. So we isolated it. And all the organisms which don't have fur, they are placed on the other side. And now at second level, which organism has feathers? So birds is separated. It has feathers. And all the organisms that don't have feathers, they are placed on other side. At next step, we will find which organism have dry skin. So the organism with dry skin will be separated, and the organism which don't have dry skin, or we can say that have moist skin, they can be placed on other side. Now, organism with scale, that's fish. Organism without scale, that's a frog, amphibian. Explain the classification systems aim to reflect evolutionary relationships. This is a skeleton of a man and ape. Both have similar skeleton. It means they have a close relationship, evolutionary relationship. Before advanced technology, classification was based on morphology, external structures like fur, feather, wing, and based on anatomy, the internal structures, heart chambers, kidneys, bones, size of bone, number of bone, and order of bones. Explains that sequences of bases in DNA are used as a means of classification. By the use of advanced technology, we can more accurately classify organisms by analyzing their DNA rather than their same look. Organisms which share similar DNA based sequences and protein amino acid sequences are more likely to be closely related. This is advanced form of the classifications based on DNA sequence, based on proteins, amino acid sequences. More closely related organisms are grouped together. They show same structures, which reflects their evolutionary relationships of having common ancestor. Common ancestry of organisms means to be evolved from same ancestor. Explains that groups of organisms which share a more recent ancestor are more closely related, have base sequences in DNA that are more similar than those that share only a distant ancestor. Look at the diagram. There are some organisms with their ancestors. Groups of organisms with more recent ancestor, they are more closely related. They have more similar DNA. Now we consider the example. There is a dog and a man. Both are mammals. And their ancestor point is this one. You can see on the screen. So their ancestors are close. In other words, we can say they have recent ancestor. On the other hand, groups of organisms with more distant ancestor, they are not much closely related, not much similar DNA they have. For example, look at the diagram. There is a fish and man. Man is a mammal and fish is a member of class fishes. Now we find their ancestor. There is the ancestor of fish highlighted as a green circle. And there is the ancestor of man. So they have distant ancestors. So this fish and man, they are not much closely related. They don't have similar DNA based sequence. The end.